My name is Adam. That is all I can tell you. There is nothing else I can remember. Just that I am Adam. I have no recollection of where I am from, where I am now. I do not know my age, but I appear to look middle-aged. My skin is that of an old man. I am Caucasian. My hair, it's light brown and long. I do not remember my parents. I do not know if I have siblings or not. I do not remember if I have a wife. I do not remember anything about myself. I awake in an old-looking room. There is no furniture here, except the stool in the corner opposite of me. I attempt to stand, but quickly stumble back to the cold cement floor. My body aches. My head spins in ways that resemble the few seconds you encounter after receiving too many blows to the head. I take a deep breath and try again. I fight through the headache and stand. I try to adjust my eyes to my surroundings. The room is dark. The only light I can see is that of a faint yellow shimmer sneaking through the creeds in the door a few feet away from me. I take my first step into the unknown. I take a few more and reach the door. My hands are upon them, feeling around to find a door handle, as my aching hands slowly move left and right in search. The impression my hands give me are of an old splintered wooden door. I find the door handle and grip it firmly. A loud siren in my ear, and the whiteness engulfs my vision. For the shortest time I see myself through what seems to be a 6-year-old self's eyes. My hand, it's reaching and grabbing a door handle to one of the rooms in my old house. The door handle is the same style as the handle in the Flash. I have no idea what my old house looked like, who was in it, or whose room that was, but I just knew in that instant that was me, and I was reaching for that door handle at that given time. I come back to my senses and notice my hand still gripping the door handle. I turn it to the right and open. The silence that bestowed in my first few minutes of this awakening was broken by the creaks of the door as it opened towards the outside of the room. That illuminating yellow shimmer in the beginning is that of a candle in the other room across the one I am in. The hallway seems small. There is an old worn-out carpet on the floor going all the way along the hallway. There are many other doors and a turn at the end of the hallway. I step into the room across of me and looked at the candle. It looked so pretty. I am not sure why that is, but the sight of this candle makes me feel safe. Could be a metaphor for the first bright thing in this life. The room is small, and there is a steel frame of a small bed in the middle. It is quite rusty, and seems dangerous to touch. Other than this object, the room is of no significance. I turn around and begin my way out, and down the hallway. The other rooms are all locked. Every single one of them. The walls are cracked. With what little light I can use to see where I am going, I can still convey this place is really old and has been abandoned for too long. I reach the end of the hallway and turn left due to a caved-in ceiling on the right of the hallway. A few feet away from me lays another door. I push it open and step into a darkness. Suddenly, the deadly silence returns. I cannot see anything except another small yellow light all the way across this place that I stepped into. And from how far away this light is, I can guess that I am in a very large hallway. The type you see in a school, maybe, or a university. I walk. The silence is yet again broken by the sound of glass and wood that my shoes are pressing into. I begin to wonder what my shoes look like. I forgot to notice what I am wearing from all this stress. I begin to wonder what pants I am wearing, the shirt, the sweater. My thoughts of fashion are interrupted as I realize I walked all the way to the light source. To my sarcastic surprise, it was another candle. Worry not. This one's just as pretty as the first. 1 foot next to the candle is an open room. I step into it and walk towards a small desk in the corner. I see an object on the table and retrieve it. Going back to the candle outside, I wonder, what is it that I am holding? The siren comes back and impales my eardrums. The whiteness flashes once more and I see myself holding a wrapped present in my small arms, shaking it and looking back at 2 sitting figures across of me. But before I could see who they are, the vision disappears and there I was, next to the candle, holding my present. A lantern, with a box of matches taped to the base of the lantern. Could it be? Did I just smile for the first time? That felt good. Chapter 2. This lantern looks old and rusted. Luckily, the rust hasn't found its way through anything, and the lantern is still intact. A shade of light green going all around it, its clear glass tube around the flame protecting it from leaving me. I toss my first used match out the 20 I had. I take a moment to notice what it is I'm wearing. My shoes are black sneakers. I'm wearing a pair of light blue jeans with a few tears around the knee. My shirt is a black t-shirt with Amsterdam written on it in yellow. Am I from Amsterdam? I don't think so. Only tourists actually wear shit like this. I must have visited Amsterdam before I came here, or maybe I'm still there. I am wearing a black and gray jacket over my shirt. I pick up the lantern and make my way into more darkness. I can see very well for once. Everything is dusty and worn out. Nothing seems a day younger than 30 years old. 30 years. I don't even know what year I am in. I know it's the 21st century, but what year? I stop walking upon encountering a large painting on the wall. It's of some mature-looking man with brown hair and a beard, lying down in a hospital bed, looking at the painter. The fuck? Out of all the paintings in the world, why this? It's too random to make sense. Why a patient in a hospital? And why such a large painting of this? I am starting to feel panicky. What is happening to me? I shouldn't be here. How did I even arrive to this place? Am I alone here? Was I kidnapped? Why can't I remember who I am? I need to get out of this godforsaken house. It just never ends. Everywhere I go, there's always another set of paths or hallways or doors. I rest for a few moments to catch my breath and try to relax. Adam. My name is Adam. Come on, think, goddammit, you are Adam. You are... who am I? Suddenly, my internal debate is interrupted by a rolling, bright blue ball that is rolling out an empty room. I hesitate to move any further, but I walk anyway. I bend down to reach this ball and pick it up to observe. Upon holding it in my hands, another flash of sirens and whiteness takes over. I am sitting on the ground with my legs crossed. I am looking up at someone who appears to be my mother. I am smiling. She is smiling. She has blue eyes. She hands me a small ball. It is blue. She says, "I love you." I continue to smile. The darkness begins to take over. The walls begin to show the cracks and old paint job. The dust settles in, the ball still in my tired hands. I turn to the left and stare blankly into the black abyss. I turn my hand and body and aim my lantern towards my vacant sea of darkness. My lantern is my ship. My head is my compass. I will sail my ship of madness through my sea of endless blackness. I will survive. I will make it out of here. I walk aimlessly into the new room. God, the stench, it's awful. The flame in my lantern blows out and the darkness once again infiltrates my vision. The door behind me swings shut. I panic. I turn around as fast as humanly possible and try to push the door open. It won't budge a single bit. I try for the doorknob, but I can't find one. I hit the door as hard as I can and for as long as my knuckles can withstand before breaking. I hear no sound from behind me. I hear a child. A crying child. I call out to the voice and say hello. No answer. However, the crying ceased. I take one step towards the middle of the room and step on something. I check to see what it is that I have stumbled upon. I pick it up, but I cannot tell what it is. I take a few deep breaths, find the matches on the side of the lantern, and light the flame. At last, sweet light, thank you, God. I look at the object that I found. It is a small stuffed toy cat. Suddenly, the flash comes back. I see myself as a little kid, still before puberty, in the living room playing with this toy. Also with a girl. She's older than me. Wait, could it be a sister? My old friend Darkness takes over once again. I have a sister. What is her name? How old is she? Do I have a brother too? Am I the youngest? I do not know my family, but I miss them. I have no idea who is a part of my family, but I miss them regardless. These memories are real. I can see them. I can feel them. Who the hell is Adam? The sound of a crying child returns. I aim my lantern around and towards the sound. It's a small child in the corner crying. His clothes are old and torn apart. The colors are all faded. His small hands around his face crying. His hair of light brown. I kneel down and ask if he's okay. He says my name. I freeze in my place. What? How did he know my name? He speaks again. Adam, why did you hurt me? Hurt you? I reply. He says, why did you hurt me? We promised we would be a good kid. We promised we would always do the right things. We promised we would be good kids. We promised we would never be like Father. We promised we would never be like Father. Why did you become Father? Why did you become Father? Why did you become Father? I am Adam. I am the good Adam. You are not. I feel my heart pounding and beating so heavily. I can feel every beat. My forehead begins to perspire. The child begins to cry once more. He begins to increase the volume of the crying. I am so terrified. I keep still watching. Too frightened to turn around, too frightened to flee. He stands up and he removes his hands from his face. His hands moved away. I begin to look at his face, trying to see who it is as quickly as possible. I see eyes red as paint, teeth black and gray, skin extremely filthy, black tears rolling down his white, pale, dirty face. He slowly moves his hands back to his face, however, not to cover. He grabs his cheeks and pulls. I can see him pulling very hard and I get nervous. This has to hurt. What is he doing? He pulls more and more until I can see his cheeks tearing off and the skin rippling. Streams of pure bright red flow all around his face and down his small weak body. He begins to scream as loud as he can, piercing my eardrums. His face is mutilated. He runs towards me. I get so frightened I cannot move a muscle. I stay frozen, accepting my fate. I felt tears run down my right cheek. The child ran and grabbed my leg. Whiteness engulfs my eyesight, and I see myself looking just like the child. I am on the floor hiding under the bed. A man walks in the room and is hitting everything in his sight. I begin to cry and hold my breath. The man, he grabs the mattress and throws it to the other side of the room, kicks me in the face. I come back from the vision, but terrified this time. That kick, it felt real. It really hurt. The child is gone. The stuffed cat toy is gone. All I have is my lantern and the remainder of my sanity. Chapter 3. Whilst walking down the way, I begin to wonder who my mother and father are. I begin to wonder what their names are. I begin to wonder what they were like together. I begin to wonder what they were like to me. I aim my lantern outwards. I keep feeling that there is something in front of me. I seem to be still in shock from the child crying. What is my sister like? Was she the nice kind or the mean kind? Or is it always a bit of both in sisters? Do I have a brother? Is he older? Is he younger? Is he even real? Am I even real? I begin to feel thirst and hunger. This worries me. What am I going to do when I really begin to starve? How am I going to find food in this place? There cannot be anything edible. I need to get out of here fast. Suddenly, I hear a loud sound approaching from in front of me. I aim my lantern high and firmly. I do not see anything. However, the sound still prevails. I keep my lantern high and change my stance to where I can run in case I need to. The sound still approaches me and increases in intensity. It is high-pitched and squeaks very much. I am trying to imagine what it is that is coming, but before I could settle on a final imagination, the source of sound comes into view. An old hospital wheelchair. The seats dark blue. Their color seems hidden behind all the rips and tears on it. Wheels are rusted, and the handlebars are broken off. A few stains of black on the seat that appears to once have been in a liquid state. It rolls in a very slowly. It's rolling off the chair. How? I watch as it slows down to minimal velocity, and then to a final stop 2 feet in front of me. The sound goes away and nothing else is happening. I think it wants me to touch it. Maybe it will give me another flash. Those seem important in order to gain my memories back. There was no one behind the wheelchair pushing it, so it came by itself, and that's impossible. So the only option is that there are paranormal activity here, or here isn't here after all. What if this is all not real? Who am I? Where am I? When am I? I reach my hand forward and place it gently onto the seat. Nothing happens. I rub my hand around it and wait, and nothing happens. Well, shit. I walk around and I continue forward. So many paintings on the wall. All are of different people and of small-sized frames. Am I related to these people? I take a few moments to examine the paintings, but to my surprise they were not different people after all. It was all the same white light brown haired man from the first painting I saw. He was in different outfits and hairstyles in each painting. There's one of him wearing a punk outfit. He has a red and green mohawk, piercings and tattoos. Another painting is of him in a tie, posing reasonably. Another is him wearing 2 fighting gloves, boxing shorts, and a punching bag behind him. I take a closer look at this one in particular. I look at the painting and try to take in its details. I see on the punching bag a small logo. It's a small text written in white over the black bag. Everlast. A siren comes back suddenly along with the whiteness, and I then see myself in the gym, punching a bag. A friend comes along and calls out my name. "Hey Adam," he says. I reply back, "Hey man, how's it going?" He answers, "Good. You going back to your parents' house tonight?" I answer him, "Yes." The vision transforms my gym surrounding into a dinner table. My father and mother across of me. 2 other boys are sitting next to me. 2 girls are sitting to the left of me. We are all having dinner. The father knocks a salt shaker over by accident. He yells and hits the table. Our cups of water fall over. He gets angry and hits one of the two girls that were next to me. She does not cry. The mother yells at the father. She hits him on the shoulders with both her closed fists and continues yelling. He slaps her and she falls over. I appear to be the oldest of the boys, but the girls both seem older than me. I stand up and yell at father. I tell him I hate him. I tell him we all hate him. I tell him he doesn't deserve our mother. I tell him he doesn't deserve anything good. He walks over and punches me in the face. I swallow some blood and continue to stare him down in the face. He gets closer and tells me that I will never be a man enough to do the thing, pushes me back into the chair and leaves the kitchen. He walks outside the main door and into his car and drives off. I hug my mother and sisters. My little brothers join in as well. My eyesight gets blurry and the image of me hugging my family disappears into blackness, and the old familiar abandoned house slowly fades into focus. That was me. Those were my family members. I feel like I know them, but at the same time know nothing about them. It is a bit difficult to explain, but it just feels like I know them, deep inside my brain. But just not enough to think of any attributes or characteristics to add. I keep walking and looking at the paintings, so the man with the light brown hair and beard is me. And the punk outfit and the previous painting and all these are just phases that I was into. Interesting, but why are they here? Why were my teen phases and other phases painted and hung up in this hallway? Who is responsible for all this? Someone has to be behind this. I continue walking down the hallway until I reach two large doors. I push them open and walk through. It is a library, a large one too. There are many books here, but all covered in dust and spiderwebs. I let go of the door behind me and let it close. I walk up to the first desk in front of me and place my lantern on it. I take a seat in the old wooden chair. I decide to take a break from exploring and sit here for a short while. Chapter 4. As the seconds turn into minutes and the minutes turn into hours, I awake to find myself sleeping a few feet away from myself. Everything looks black and white. I can see myself head down on the table with both my arms crossed. The lantern is a few centimeters away from the top of my head. I'm starting to see a few shadowy figures approach from all corners and sides of the library. The closer they come, the more I can see them. They all have a body which seems to be extremely skinny. All are wearing torn up black robes. Their faces are of pure white. Eyes are black as night, and white pupils in the center. They all lack noses. Lips are of pure black, with teeth very gray. They all were smiling, all entities smiling with an identical smile. All of them are moving geometrically towards my slumbering body, simultaneously raising all their left hands in the air until their arms and bodies made out what seems to represent a 90-degree angle. Their hands are very pale and bony. The skin seems that of an old leather. Every entity I see is moving closer and slower, all aiming their hands to my sleeping bodies. I watch very closely, ever so terrified. I want to wake up so I can flee. I want to wake up and escape from my life, but what little I know about myself. As soon as the hands of all visible entities collide gently with my body, a flash of whiteness presents itself, only this time accompanied by one of the entities. We are face to face, only what seems like 5 centimeters. Its smile begins to gradually increase in size. It keeps continuously making it wider, until the teeth are present and accessible to see. Every tooth is either broken or chipped. The teeth are not sharp but surprisingly normal, including the broken and chipped teeth, of course. As soon as I blink, it begins to scream uncontrollably, screaming and yelling in such a shattering, low-pitched voice. It makes me sick to my stomach. I begin to feel bile rising in my esophagus and the acidity of the vomit in the back of my throat. I pull to the side and quickly take my eyes back to the screaming abomination of a creation. I suddenly awake and shoot my head straight up into the air. I look all over me. I look all around me. I check my surroundings 3 more times. I hold my lantern and stand up. I begin to look around the library. I go in and out of most aisles, looking through books in search of anything that can give me a clue to get out of here. Upon going through 7 aisles, I enter the 8th, and I am shocked to find no books at all. Only a small black box in one of the shelves was present. I reached my hands out and grasped it. I searched the box for a place to unlock. I find a small hole in the front of it, but it looks like a keyhole. Now only finding a key seems to be my only quarrel with this puzzle. I search the remainder of the library for anything that resembles a key, but I am distressed about finding nothing. Upon searching in the library, I stumble upon a wooden door, only it is carved in English. A man deprived of his noble blade is entombed in stone. A man deprived of his noble blade is entombed in stone. What could this mean? Okay, Adam, let's solve this riddle and be done with it. What makes a blade, a sword, noble, and what makes anything noble? Royalty, honor, a king, a knight, a sword of a king, sword of a knight. So we have a noble, honorable person without his sword. Sword could be a metaphor for pride, maybe. A man without his pride is stuck in stone. He will never progress in life. What does this have to do with anything? I begin to feel desperate and start to look at the old dusty books that have survived this horrid abandonment. Upon my rigorous effort in search of any clue to assist me in solving this enigma, I finally come across an interesting discovery. It is a large, hard-covered black book. The reason the book grasps my attention is because of the absence of any title or writings. I raise the old book to my face and blow away as much of the dust that my tired lungs can do. I open the book and gaze upon the first page. It is a photo. The photo looks old. It has a couple tears around the corners, and the colors have faded quite a bit. There is a man who seems to be me in the photo. I am wearing a black and white suit. Behind me is a plain blue background. I am holding a toy in my hands. It is an action figure. It looks like a spaceman. He is wearing a full white bodysuit, but his eyes, they're black slits. As I gaze upon the action figure, I get another flashback. I am sitting on a couch, wearing gray sweatpants and a plain black hoodie with the word Senior written on it. In my hand is the action figure. I notice a ring on my left hand finger. A small baby boy is walking towards me. He is struggling to walk straight, and I begin to smile. A woman walks from behind me and sits next to me, and rests her head on my shoulder. She smells good. Her hair is of bright red. She is very beautiful. She wraps her arms around mine and smiles, while looking at what appears to be our son. He finally finds his way over and falls into my lap. I hand him the toy. He smiles and reaches out for it to grab. My wife kisses me. The flash is over. Although, unlike the other times, I feel sadder after this one. That warm feeling of happiness that I experienced for a brief moment of time was enough to push me to keep fighting. To keep fighting and beat this horrid place. I will conquer this maze of horror. I need to escape. I need to come back to reality. Chapter 5. After returning from the flashback, I look back at the photo. The toy is replaced with a wooden key. I question my reality furiously as I keep glancing into the photo. How? I flip the photo over and I can see on it a code. 5A7R12B. What is the meaning of this? What can this mean? How is anyone going to understand this? I throw the photo across the room, watching as it glides through the dense air. I decide it's time to continue my way. As I reach the door with the engraved message from earlier, I wonder what can possibly be on the other side. I walk with my lantern, feeling confident, looking at the old tables and chairs, and the spider webs that are on most books. I reach out my hand to grab the door handle. As I grasp it, immediately morphs into a black essence wrapping around my hand. The essence slowly changes into a hand, a bony, filthy hand. I try to remove my hand while grunting furiously. I feel its sharp nails dig into my hand. Blood pours down from each angle of the punctures. God, this hurts. I can't stand this any longer. Let me go! I hear an immense, deep voice of laughter as my hand is released. The hand isn't changing back into a handle. I look to my hand and notice no wounds, no blood, nothing. How do I get out of here? What am I supposed to do? What is it that I am not seeing? I look for the photo that I previously threw. I find it in the middle upon the first table. From it are 8 arrows made of what seems to be oil. I wonder what the arrows are pointing to. It seems like the aisles. Let me see that damn code. 5A7R12B. 5th aisle, 7th row, 12th book. It's worth a try. I follow this code and stumble upon a deep red-colored book with the title Adam. This is just getting weird. I open the book and read what is said in the first page. Gather round, for I have a tale to tell. In the beginning there was Adam, and as he strayed from his mighty path, the essence of his soul was deeper buried into his mind. Accompanied are 5 dark lords, that are the strings of this realm. Adam must be strong in order to defeat his 5 dark lords. Isn't that right, Adam? Yes, you. Discover the lore, and you will know how to live. Do not be afraid, for you are the lord of your own sanity. What could this possibly mean? 5 dark lords? Are they like the entities that I encountered earlier? What lore? I reread the paragraph. I flip the pages, yet there is nothing written. Only in the end of the book was there a single piece of scripture. Qareen. Qareen. What is that? And I flip the page. There's a key. It's tied to the book cover. I take the key and I wonder of this word Qareen again. What is that? I go to the box I could not unlock before. I insert the key and turn it. At last it is open. I look inside and I find a note that reads, "A man's blade is his pen, and his pen is wisdom of the unseen." Underneath the note is a drawing. Upon glancing at it, a forsaken deep-pitched roar is heard from all sides of my body. It shakes me down to my knees. I feel the roar throughout my entire body. I can feel my organs shake with fear. I look into the drawing, hoping to cancel somehow the forsaken cry I hear. My eyes widen with horror. A large throne, and upon it is a large entity, extremely large and made of smoke, and its eyes of smokeless fire. Under him are those entities from the library, but so many of them. I put the drawing aside. This is my first Dark Lord. The roar stopped. Still on my knees, I cry and I question myself. How am I going to fight him? To fight them? I begin to cry uncontrollably, questioning every corner of reality. What am I going to do? How will I ever escape? I hear the sound of crackling fire from the door with the demented handle. I walk over there and see that the handle is back to normal. A sigh of relief escapes my dry throat. Hopefully there is water or food on the other side. God, please stay close to me. Protect me from evil. I need you so much. I really need you, God. Please don't leave me alone. You are all I know in this realm.